When I say God, you say glorify. Hey. God, hey. Glorify. Hey. God be glorified. Hey. God, hey. Glorified. Hey. When I say God, you say God. Hey. You say God. Hey. When I say God, hey. God. Hey. When I say God, you say glorify. God, you say glorify. God, you say glorify. God be glorified. David faced the giant strong and tall, with just a sling, no fear at all. Not for fame, not for praise, God was glorified that day. Daniel in the lion's den trusted God again and again. Mouths were shut, he stood in grace. God was glorified in that place. Not for fame, not for name, every trial shows God's reign. In the fire, in the fight, God's glory shines so bright. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, to the fiery furnace they did go. But God was there, they were not alone. His power and love were clearly shown. Moses stood by the Red Sea shore, waters parted, path once more. People walked on ground so dry, God was glorified on high. Joseph in the prison stayed, yet through it all God made a way. From the pit to the throne he came, God was glorified, not his name. Esther stood with courage bold, saved her people, truth was told. For such a time she took her stand, and God was glorified in the land. In every trial, in every test, God is working for the best. When we trust and when we obey, his glory shines through us each day. Not for fame, hey. Not for name, hey. Every trial shows God's reign, hey. In our lives, come what may, hey. God be glorified always. Noah built the ark so wide, though the world laughed from every side. Rain came down, God kept his word. God was glorified, all the earth heard. Abraham climbed the mountain high, trusted God, no question why. A ram was there just in time, God was glorified, so divine. Joshua marched the walls around, trumpets blew a mighty sound. Jericho fell without a fight, God was glorified in his might. Gideon with the army small, trusted God to win it all. With just a few the battle won, God was glorified, it was done. Elijah on Mount Carmel stood, called on God and fire came through. False gods failed but God replied, God was glorified far and wide. Jonah in the great big sea, inside the fish he chose to believe. God gave grace a second way, God was glorified that day. Ruth stayed faithful, kind and true, God led her in all she'd do. From lost to blessing, her story showed God was glorified.